In this tutorial, I'm going to show you guys how to put together this family celebrations calendar out of acrylic and some MDF and how to decorate this. This you'll be able to do with all your goodies that you'll receive in your craft kit. I will link the craft kit in the description below for you guys, but let me show you what you'll get in your craft kit. So in your box, you're going to receive, first of all, the twine so that you can hang up your little sign, or your little calendar, I should say. Then you're also going to have this MDF piece, which has got family cut out. And then we're going to paint that one. And then you're going to have the acrylic rectangle. And on this one, there's the holes at the bottom. And I would already have applied your chosen color of your vinyl for each of the month. The reason why I've done that is just to make it easier for you. It's easier for me to remove and reapply until it's nice and straight than to send it out to you guys. So I did that for you. Then you'll get the little discs and the jump rings. So with these you'll use to put down the names and the dates for each month. And then you also have 20 of these in your kit. So if you need more of them, just message me and I'll put a little listing up for you. Then you're also going to get some additional paints, and as always I'm going to include a glitter for you guys. So this is just a super fine glitter which I use on the back. You don't have to use it, of course, but I love using some glitter on it, so there we go. Then of course you're going to get some clear stuff, so that's 10 grams of clear stuff. And then you're also going to get my new formula of my white gel paint. So with this one we're going to paint on the little discs to make sure you can see the names that you write on. And then that is everything that you'll get in the kit. So now let me show you guys what else you'll need to decorate and to follow along with the tutorial. So you're going to need some acrylic paint. So you can either use, I've got this one as Dollar Rowley one, or you can just use the Pebu one. Pebu, I don't know how to pronounce it. But I'm going to use this gold, and then I'm going to use the black acrylic paint for this design. Then you will also need some glue to put the pieces together. So for this one, you can either use E6000 or you can use the Gorilla Glue, whichever one you want to use or which one you feel more comfortable with. I'm going to use the Gorilla Glue on this one, Gorilla Glue even. Then you're going to need a Sharpie. I use a Sharpie in this, but you can use acrylic pen as well, but I'll show you why I use the Sharpie in a bit. I'm going to use a unused trusty brush for the acrylic paint to paint the wooden piece because it's a smaller paintbrush. My trusty brush, of course, for my gel paints and my clear stuff. And then also this cute little weeding tool to remove the protective film off the acrylic piece. I'll link that one off Amazon for you guys below as well. Then to paint the bigger piece, you can either use a big brush with soft bristles, or I'm going to, for the first time, use one of these spongy things, which I've never used before on my acrylic pieces. So I want to see what that's like. And then, of course, like I said, the wooden piece, I'm going to use the smaller paintbrush. Make sure you also got some pliers so that you can open and close those jump rings to put the little circles or the discs together and then hang them under each month. And then also the celebration piece will come in your kit as well. I'm sorry, I should have shown you in the beginning, but this is the piece that you're just going to stick on the wooden piece after you've decorated that, and just to add the celebrations to it. You will also get the dot in the box. I will show you that in a bit when I make mine, but let's jump into the making of this. So I'm going to start with a wooden piece, with the MDF piece, and I'm going to use my gold acrylic paint. Now my little nozzle is blocked, so I'm just going to open it and dump some of the paint onto the silicone mat, and I can just pick it up from there with my brush to paint. Now I'm just going to go straight in and paint this piece. I don't feel that I need to have a primer on it. I'm just going to try and not get it on the edges. So straight into the paint, and then I'm going to paint the piece. If your colors that you're going to use is more opaque, then you can put a white base coat on first, or primer on first, and then paint your color on. Now that that's all painted and I've got a nice coverage, I'm just going to put this to one side and let that dry properly before I work on this piece again. So let's move over to the acrylic piece. So on the acrylic piece, remember I mentioned that the months are already at the bottom, so just fold that protective layer down and then go and work from the back side. Remember, we always work in reverse on the acrylics on these. So pull away that protective film using your little weeding tool and just pull the whole piece down, but put your hand down on it and keep it nice and flat so you don't bend or snap the piece. Now that that's off, we can just go straight in with the paint. So I'm going to go in with the black acrylic paint on this one, if I can get it open. There we go, some strength needed there. And then just pop the paint on. I'm just going straight directly onto it this time instead of putting it on the side. And then I'm going to use this spongy brush. And I must be honest, guys, when I use this, I couldn't believe how easy it is. And it's no wonder everyone who paints acrylic pieces with acrylic paints actually use these sponges. I think I'll be using that more often. Now that you've got the whole piece painted in fast forward mode there, I'm going to put it down and then I'm just going to give it a dry with my heat tool. Well, I've already dried with my heat tool, and then I'm just going to paint on a second layer and then dry that piece as well.
If I got every word perfectly weighted on a thin piece of paper, would it make any difference? Would it change for the better if I wrote you a poem? If I
now that the second coat is nice and dry, we're going to go ahead and seal the back. And all I'm going to do is add some clear stuff on first. So first get a sheet of paper, and we're going to put a sheet of paper underneath your acrylic piece if you're going to use glitter, so you can capture any of the glitter that will go over the edges. So I'm going to pop that down and then I'm going to grab my clear stuff. Now you're going to have 10 grams of clear stuff, and I can guarantee you guys you're going to use all of it on this piece. So just make sure, I would say keep the bottle upside down so it can all run to the front, and then start putting it on, and just make sure you squeeze every single little drop onto your acrylic piece. Once you've got that all on, just use your trusty brush and just spread the clear stuff everywhere. The purpose of the clear stuff is really just to seal in the acrylic paint so it doesn't scratch off. If this was going to be a piece that will be seen from this side, I would have obviously done some more clear stuff and made it nice and smooth. But it's going to be on the back, and even though it's going to be on the back, I'm still going to add some glitter on it, just in case somebody turns it around and looks at it, and then there's beautiful sparkle on the back. So all I'm going to do is sprinkle the glitter on. So use the glitter that I've sent you, or if you've got other glitter that will fit in with a color scheme, then you can use that. You can use it straight out of the baggie, or I just use mine in spice shakers. So I've got these spice shakers from Amazon, and I just pop my glitter into that, which makes it easier to sprinkle the glitter on. So just give it a nice thin dusting of glitter on the back with a nice smooth sweep. I've left this one in normal mode, normal speed I should say, so you guys can see how carefully I'm doing it and how little I'm letting come out of the spice bottle at a time, even though it's focusing on my arm, but I'm sure you can still see that I don't just dump a whole lot on. So just sprinkle it on the back. Now if you want to have a smooth finish, you can leave it stand for about a minute or so, and the glitter and the clear stuff will kind of level out. But for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm going to just cure this one. I'm going to have to do it with this light, and I'm going to have to do it in 3 sections because the light is not big enough to cover the whole piece. So just move it forward as you go, and then cure for 60 seconds for each one of those pieces. If you feel that it's not cured properly, you can do it for 2 minutes, and that should be fine. You can't over cure it. So the next thing that I'm going to do is just preserve some of that glitter. So I'm just going to lift the piece off, and you can dust off if you've got excess glitter, but I hardly ever have glitter that actually falls off that because it's cured nicely. So I'm just going to pop that glitter back into the shaker bottle, and then that is your acrylic piece also done. And now we're going to move back to the wood piece. So that's now nicely dried. You can seal this as well if you wanted to, but I didn't feel the need to seal mine, so I've just left it like that. Now what we're going to do now is stick on the celebrations piece. So you'll have the color that you've chosen in your craft kit, and it will fit into that little indent there, or in-cut, out-cut. You know what I mean. And then this is your dot for your eye. Now I've put it in a little plastic baggie so you don't lose it, just so it's easier to find in your craft kit. So just turn the celebrations word around, and then I'm just going to use the E6000 glue on this one, and just with a little stick, and I'm just going to put the glue on the main pieces, I should say, of the word. So I'm not like doing it over the whole word because it will keep it in place. So just like in the main big areas, as you can see me do, yeah. And then we'll stick it onto the front.
Quite where I was, then suddenly you told me, baby, you're lost, but I am too. Whatever the cost, we'll make it through. Tell me you're the one for me now.
When you're happy that you've got glue everywhere, you can turn this one around very carefully, and then just don't stick it to yourself like I'm doing, and then just use move the wooden piece back down, and then just stick the celebration on. You can basically eyeball where it needs to go onto here, and then just touch it in the areas where you put the glue, just to make sure that it sticks down. You basically don't need to like clamp it down or anything. You can just press it down nicely, and then don't forget to put your little dot on. So just grab a little dot, and same thing, just pop some glue on, and then just stick it on the top of that eye.
Tell me now what I could do.
And then all I want to do is make sure that any of that excess glue is wiped off, because I don't want that to show. So I'm just wiping it off where I can see some of it peeking out from the back. And then that is your acrylic piece and your MDF piece done. And now we're going to move over to the little discs. So grab your baggie that's got all the little discs and the jump rings in, and then we're just going to take those out so that we can start decorating them. Now you can paint them whichever way you want to. You can put the favorite colors on them, but I'm going to use my new formula of the white paint. With this one, I don't need to seal the white paint again with clear stuff. I can just paint it straight on and cure that, and that should be good enough. So remove the protective film on the back of these, because as always they have a protective film on both sides, and then we're just going to pop the paint straight onto that. So like I said, you can do any color that you want to. I've included the white for you that you can use for this, or you can use it for something else. So I'm just going to put a little bit of white onto the little disc on the first one, and then I'm going to add some on the second one as well. I'm going to do these two together for you guys so I can show you how I do these. And then I'm just going to use my trusty brush, and I'm going to lift them up and then just spread that gel paint to the edges, making sure that I don't cover those holes. Once you're happy with that, you can then pop them down. You can leave them for about a minute again to just self-level out. Or I'm going to do a second layer, so I'm just going to pop these under the light for 60 seconds to get those cured, and then I'm going to do a second layer on these as well. So when that's finished, I'm just going to pop them out and then add some more of my white gel paint onto this one, and then just do the process again.
What am I supposed to do? If you are not the one for me, then tell me now what I could do. Tell me you're the one for me now. I pray that you believe it too. That you're the only one.
Now that both layers are cured, we are ready to put the dates and the names on these discs. But first we're going to need to remove that protective film from the front. So again, just use that little weeding tool and just remove the protective film on the front of both of these, or all of the ones that you've painted, to get them ready to put the dates and the names on. now we're ready to add our dates and our names onto this. So let me show you guys why I like to use a Sharpie. So with the Sharpie, you can just wipe it straight off again if you've made any mistakes. So I prefer to use a Sharpie, but you can use acrylic pens if you want to. So if I make a mistake on this one, I can use a piece of cotton wool and just some isopropyl alcohol, and I can wipe whatever I've made or written down wrong on it straight off like that, and then I can start all over again. So now I'm just going to go ahead and take my calendar to the side, which you guys can't see, and then put all the dates and the names onto my little discs to get them ready. And look like this one, I didn't like the way that I wrote the number 1, and I just wiped it straight off again and just started over, and still didn't like it. So I'm just going to wipe it off again, but just to show you guys how easy it is when you don't, or when you've made a mistake. So you can go ahead and do all of your dates and your names. I've done mine by month and then kept them together for each month so that I can string them together nicely. Cute! Now we can go ahead and assemble all the pieces together. So just bring everything back to the table. And then first we're going to remove the protective film of our rectangular piece. So again, just carefully pull it off. If you hold on to the edges to not touch the center of it so you don't get fingerprints on this, just make sure that you hold it down so it doesn't snap, and pull that protective layer off. And now we're going to stick on the family piece to the acrylic piece. To do this, you can just take that MDF piece and just flip it upside down, and then I'm going to use the Gorilla Glue for this one, and I'm just going to squeeze out some glue on all the main parts, and then I'm going to spread it out after with a little stick. So just make sure that you get it everywhere, but don't put too much glue on because you don't want it to squeeze out on the edges. So I'm just using a stick here, and I'm just making sure that I spread the glue everywhere. And then once you're happy with that, you can pop it around and then move your acrylic piece down so you can nicely see what you're doing, and just eyeball it and get it into the center, and then just drop it down and press down when you're happy with where it is. You can still slightly move it around, but once you're happy, just press it down and it should stay there. Now we can move over to adding the little discs with the dates and the names to the bottom. So grab all of them together. I'm going to do mine month by month first and then attach them all to the bigger piece. So get all of your pieces together and then grab your pliers. And it's so simple, guys. Just open the jump ring and put the little disc through. So that's the top one. And then I'm going to use another little jump ring and attach it to that first one. Obviously, you're going to go in date order. So just hook that jump ring through that first disc, keeping it open, and put the second disc on, and then just use your pliers again to close that. So you're going to go ahead and do this for all of the names for each month. Once you're done with that, you should have a string for each one of the 12 months, or however many ever months you have dates for, and then we're going to start attaching them to the bigger piece. So grab all of your pieces together for each month, and again, all you're going to do is open that jump ring at the top. So open that one back up again, and then you're going to take your acrylic piece and just angle it so that you can hook that month through, and then just close it with your pliers again. And then that's 1 month down, and we've got a few more to go on this one, but it's already starting to look so cute. So go ahead and do all 12 of the months.
Tell me you're the one for me now, 'cause what am I supposed to do? If you are not the one for me, then tell me now what I could do. Tell me you're the one for me now. I pray that you believe it too. That you're the only one for me, and I'm the only one for you.
Now that they are all done, we're going to add the twine that was included in your kit so that you can hang your calendar up on the wall. you're just going to simply just thread it through and then just do a double knot and then cut off the excess rope or twine that you've got there, and then pull it across to the other side, and then you're going to do the same on the side. What I have seen though is don't try and make it too loose, kind of pull it straight with the acrylic piece so that it can hang nicely on the wall instead of just this long piece of rope. So just again do a double knot on this side and then cut off the excess once you're happy with that. Just doing a double knot and then just chopping off that excess again. And there you go. That is my celebration calendar done and dusted. And it looks so cute. And now everybody's birthdays can be up on the wall where I won't forget them. So for this year, it's going to be kind of special to remember everybody's birthdays looking at this calendar. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you enjoy crafts like this, please do make sure to subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions, just pop them down in the bottom of this video, and I will leave some links in the description for you guys to the products, this craft kit, and to my other socials if you want to follow those. Thank you for watching, guys.